Hey everyone, welcome back to Pacing the Pension. If you're seeing me for the first time, I'm Jeff. Today is another reflection video because honestly, it's been one of those heavy, stressful weeks at work. But more important than that, this past week marked the 2-year anniversary of when the high school band director was tragically killed in a car accident. This band director, she was only 28 years old. She was my kid's band director, but also she was the band director when I was finishing up my time as the band booster president for this band. And so I got to know her really well. At 28 years of old, she had an incredible force that was there for her and what she did and what she gave back to our kids, and not just for the kids, but for us adults, those that were older than her. Right, the way her force about what she could do and what she was able to help us concentrate our efforts on and make a difference for the kids, for the band, for our community. She really truly had it at 28 years old, and so when I look back at that, it just really hurts to know that she was taken from us at such a young age. It's just a stark and painful reminder that our lifespan is never guaranteed. She really truly has had an impact that will always stay there and will always be there. And just seeing some of the comments this past week on Facebook, from those that remember her and the kids that remember her, the parents that remember her, some of the people in the community that weren't even part of the band, but because of what the band, because of her, was able to do for the community, they had some great comments to put out also. And so just to know that her legacy still exists and still is there, what she's done with these Gen Z kids, these kids have been through a lot, right? Between some of them that just graduated, they had COVID when they were getting ready to start high school, right? And then 2 years into their high school and almost into their time, they had this tragic death of their band director, a person that they cared about tremendously. And so these kids are resilient today. I really have to give it to them. I see my kids and how resilient they are and how they've been able to bounce back and how they're able to take what they've learned from all these different things and these big life events and be able to recover and be resilient about it. So I really, truly give it to those Gen Z kids. Go back to the band director. When you see a life with so much potential cut short at 28, it makes me, and it forces me to look at my own timeline. I'm at 54 right now, and because of that, it makes me think about that and that I should not take any single day for granted. It makes me ask, what am I doing with the time that I have left? Our brand director's service to the community didn't stop impacting us when she passed. Her legacy still lives on in these kids and us parents and in the community. It reminds me that our service after service of how we show up right now for people is the most vital thing we can do with our lifespan. Because life is short, you have to use the health and the body that you've been blessed with. That's why, despite a stressful week, I'm laced up and continue to get out there on the roads and continue to work on my own health, so I can be ready for another opportunity to be able to give back to the community, give back into doing stuff for myself and for my family. And that's very important. So it makes me really think about also everything else that's going on. As I mentioned at the first of this video, that not only was the loss of our director, but it was one of those kind of weeks at work. This last week, makes me really take into the heart all those other retirement video content creators and what they say about retiring early and save that anxiety and stress and start enjoying this next phase of life. Trust me, this week was truly got me closer to making that decision. It was an ugly week. It started off and was in the middle. It was very ugly, very stressful, had the anxiety going on very well, and my passion was showing out in a hard way, and everything. So, I was able to have some, see at the end of the week though. After I was able to have some of those hard discussions and some of those passionate discussions with the people that needed to have them with. I started seeing some things being paid off, and potentially where what I'm doing and what I was able to get done have a lasting impact on the organization and the people that were in it. And that to me is one of the reasons why I keep doing what I'm doing right now, why I keep pacing forward and have a pace plan for to get 5 more years in. It's one of the driving forces of why I continue to work, to make so the opportunity so I can make a difference and to be able to make it last. So I feel what those content creators are putting down, and that day is coming sooner than later for sure. I know that, and I have a plan that I'm pacing my way through. But if I continue to have weeks like this past one, that is only going to slow me down and not push me forward in my health or my lifespan. So for those that have retired early, keep those videos coming. Keep the comments coming. And you might just come at one of those most crucial, hard moments in my life, when I'm taking a break from a hard work pace and truly, and what you say truly sits in, and I decide that I need to continue pacing my own life and not continue with the stress and anxiety that comes with the workplace. The other good thing that I've learned from watching those videos is that I was able to look at my own wealth side of things also, knowing that if I decide to change my pace strategy of working another 5 years to go into where maybe it's only one more year that I work, and what that pace strategy looks like, I've been able to see what it looks like by learning from those other creators and using programs like Bolden, and seeing that my numbers that I've laid out and putting it in Bolden, and then I've discussed that plan with, that my current plans for the 5-year plan, or what those plans C, B, and C might be if I decide to go, change my pace and go earlier than later. Talking through all that with my financial advisor also, it shows that my numbers work. So from the wealth side of the house, I know that whatever my pacing strategy is and what it may turn into be, depending on how work continues to go, I know that the numbers are there, and will make sure that my wealth span can meet my health, and my lifespan. So I appreciate what those content creators have done, and appreciate everything that I've learned from them, and keep it coming. And you never know, I may be your next guy that decides to retire early just because, and from wealth, but also from health, and understanding that there's more out there in the future. And I know that, and so keep it coming, and I appreciate everything that's there. So going on, one of the other things I was able to do this week, thinking about my own health, and not knowing my own health, but being able to give back to the community, is last night, despite the hard, mentally draining office week, I ran a 5K last night, a race to support CASA. It was for the court-appointed special advocates, a nonprofit that stands up for abused and neglected children. So on top of supporting that cause, which is a great cause to go out there for, I went out there also because I had a friend that wanted to hit a personal record. So to be able to go out there and pace this friend and be able to, help that person reach their personal record, that makes it even that much more meaningful. So when work is stressful and grief also is hitting in, those anniversaries of, key moments in your life that are hard to grieve and deal with, taking care of your own health span isn't just about physical fitness. It's about mental clarity and using the strength that we do have to be able to lift someone else up, to make a difference in somebody else's life. And to me, that was very important. And so I was an opportunity to go do that last night. And that was only there because I keep concentrating on my health and keep concentrating on, that pace that I need to be able to be at to be able to move my life forward and everything like that. So one thing I would say is, if you've had a stressful week, or if you're remembering someone you've lost too soon, don't let the stress paralyze you. Use it as fuel. Honor their memory by taking care of your body, serving your community, and pacing forward. If you had that stressful week, find different ways to be able to get out there and work on relieving that stress. It's hard, I know that. We don't know how many miles we have left in our race. I know that. And so what I'm trying to do is make sure that I make every single mile count. Again, I'd appreciate if you would hit the like button, and if you feel inclined, definitely hit the subscribe button. I'm trying to make at least one video a week, and I post as soon as I make. There's no editing or fancy updates, just me in the raw state of making videos. If you've had one of those weeks and you're remembering somebody you lost and would like to comment on it, please do. If you've had a stressful week, please leave a comment also about what you're doing, what you do to deal with a stressful week. I'd love to hear, other people's thoughts and everything on that. and any comments you may have about this video, please do. Thanks again for clicking and watching the video, and I hope that you have a wonderful, steady, paced weekend and ready to pace your next week, month, and years ahead. They are precious, so make them count. This is Jeff, and I hope you have a great one out here.